Abigail's fine. I don't think it's very good. White-black is not really a deck. It's not a tribe, so it's hard to cast. I mean, of course, you don't have to be white and black. You can be white or black. And this isn't really a 2-drop, so it's fine. I'm totally happy to play this in a merfolk deck or in a goblin deck, but it's not an exciting card. I like something like Gathering Stone pick 1, because this can go in any tribe, right? It's not going to be great if you're Vivid, like my first round opponent last draft, who had like, the Elves was probably their highest tribe, but they were more of like a ramp Vivid deck. But if you're just any focused tribal deck, the Gathering Stone is good. So I like first picking something like that. Explosive Prodigy is good too. It's good in any red deck. Don't think of this like a real Vivid card. If you deal 2 to 3 with it, you're happy. Hex I don't like a lot. Like, I'm always going to play it. But again, like, there's just a lot of games in the middle of the game. There's no 2-drop out. And like, you don't want a removal spell that's sitting dead in your hand while you're losing to their 4/4. I'm not saying don't play Hex, but I would take Bogslow's Embrace over it all day. All right, so following up the stone, we can draft any deck. Solitude, that's a good white removal for Kithkin or Merfolk, the 2 white tribes that are good. There's Embrace, a really good black removal. I like this card a lot. Trades way up in mana. I wouldn't consider anything else really in this pack. I mean, Undercurrents, like, I'm not going to look to Vivid after taking Stone. And, you know, like, it's just an okay uncommon. I mean, the deck has to be open. And this card's just a little bit awkward anyway. I think this is just take one of the removal spells. I actually think Embrace is probably better than Solitude, but I think Solitude's probably a better pick. The reason is because I'm happy to be white-blue or white-green, whereas with Embrace, like, I'm really mostly looking to be black-green unless Goblins is wide open. And remember, last draft we started with back-to-back Goblin cards, but if I'm just getting, like, Stone and Embrace, that doesn't mean I should be drafting Goblins, right? So, I mean, we could take the Reejerey here. It goes well with the Solitude, and Merfolk is one of, if not the best tribes. It's a nice, solid uncommon for that deck. The Outrider's hard to block, but that's a less exciting card. Nameless Inversion is good. If I had taken the black removal last pick, I think I would take the Nameless Inversion here. But since we took the Solitude, I think we might as well take the Reejerey, because I think these are close in power level, right? So, I mean, it looks okay. I mean, now there's another Merfolk uncommon. Probably a decent chance Merfolk is open. There's also a Cinder Strike, and we did just pass Nameless Inversion. So it looks like, you know, there's a bunch of different things we could have done so far. But like I said, I don't mind moving into Merfolk a little more aggressively than I would, like, Goblins or Kithkin, let's say, because Merfolk is really deep. I feel like Merfolk can definitely support 2 drafters and still be a good deck. So, Unexpected Assistance. It's the only really Merfolk card. I know we're mono white at this point, so you might look at the Preacher. And look, I mean, we could still draft a white-green Kithkin deck, and Reejerey and Trapper would be good in it. But in this format, you're much more limited by your tribe than your color. It's not like if we take the white card, we can just play white anything. We want to be Merfolk, which is white-blue, because we have 3 Merfolk. And then, if we do go white-green, how good is a Preacher in our deck, right? So, like, it's not like we can just play white any color, and we should prioritize. Like, this is different than most formats. I'm going to take Liminal Hold here clearly, so let me talk about this concept a little bit. So, in most formats, I would have taken the 2/2 there, because we can play white in any second color, and we don't want to take a blue card, even if it's better, if it's only a little bit better, because what if we get a green Broken Rare? What if red is wide open like it seems to be with another Cinder Strike, right? But in this format, you're really trying to draft a tribe, not colors. Now, even though I'm not hard committed to Merfolk, right, if I do end up white-green Kithkin, that 2-mana 2/2 wasn't doing much for me, right? And if I do end up white-blue Merfolk, I'm going to be really happy to have this Unexpected Assistance. It's a really good card. One of the best commons for that archetype. So it looks like there's some Goblin stuff floating around again, some Kithkin stuff, a decent Merfolk. Here, we're probably going to be heavier white, and I don't like Distractor that much. Like, I'll play one, but I don't think it's very good. So I'm going to take this Wary Farmer. We might play it in our white-blue deck anyway, and if we go white-green, that'll be a big upgrade, whereas the Distractor will be a very small loss. Now I'll take the Preacher for the Merfolk deck. don't think we badly want any of these cards. We do already have 2 better 2-drops. The Feisty Spikeling is always a playable 2 if you end up short, but we do have 2 already in pack 1. The Wayfinder's only really good if you're splashing or you're like looting away lands, but we could end up doing that. I'm going to take that just in case. Wow, so it seems like Green Vivid is wide open. I mean, I don't think we can go there. I mean, I guess we could play Green-White theoretically, or Green and just splash Hold in Solitude. It's pretty crazy to see Great Forest Druid and Undercurrent's table, especially Great Forest Druid. I'm going to take it, but I'm still looking at Merfolk. I'm just taking that just in case. Temporal Cleansing is a pretty solid card for Merfolk as well, so for that to come back 13th. It just feels like everything is open. I don't know what the other people around me are drafting. That's me, Jerby. The Ben Atark. So, Deceit, excellent if you're blue-black, but if you're just blue, it's 6 mana, 5/5 bounce something. That's fine, right? It's not like amazing, but it's solid. And if you're stuck on lands and you really want to, you can play it early in the right situation. There's not really... You know what we do here. It's only polite, only nice PC plus stream. So I think Deceit is the right pick. Otherwise, what are we taking? Like, I mean, it's not like there's anything really for other decks, right? Or for Merfolk. We could take Swat Away. Swat Away's solid. Aw, thanks. Yeah, I feel like the land searching thing, Undercurrents, whatever, I think that card is a little awkward. I think it's a pretty bad design for your build around Uncommon. Second Gathering Stone is pretty nice for a virtually all Merfolk deck, though. Dream Harvest, I think, is very overrated. Like, 7 mana and, like, you on average are getting, like, 6 to 7 casting cost worth of cards. Like, that's fine, but it's not exciting. But if we're going to try and draft focused Merfolk, I'm going to like these stones. And I mean, almost every creature in our deck is a Merfolk. We're not going to play the Druid, and we don't need to play the Farmer. Okay, so I've never had 3 Gathering Stones. I don't even know if I've ever had 2. Should we take it and move all in and just only play Merfolk at this point? I mean, I'm not taking it over much. There's no other Merfolk cards in this pack. But we're really going to need every card, every creature, every Merfolk we can get at this point. So, of course, there's none in the very next pack. I don't really want any of these cards. Yeah, I mean, the Wayfinder will be better with the stones. Go get us our lands while only costing 1 or 2 mana. Or free if we have all 3 out. I guess if I ended up splashing... No, I could use a counter spell after board, even if not main or something. This is best of 3. Alright, so easy Merfolk here. We're going to... With 3 stones, like, we're going to draft Merfolk over everything. Basically any chance we get. So now I have to decide between the Convoke Aura and one of the Merfolk creature. Again, if I didn't have 3 Gathering Stones, I would take the Aura. I like this Aura. But I think for this deck, we want to be taking these Merfolk. I do want stuff to play before turn 4. I'm going to value 4 drops lower than usual, given I have 3 copies of Gathering Stone. Probably not going to play the Farmer anymore. The Wild Unraveling I consider like a sideboard card unless we're short playables. So this is good. Every creature's a Merfolk. We're going to win a long game with 3 Gathering Stones, so I do want to slow them down, so I'm going to take Blossoming Vines pretty aggressively. I know the Percher is a Merfolk, and I've already got one, and it'll make the deck, but I do want to get these spells where I can that slow the opponent down and kill things. Yeah, it's true that we could splash, especially if I take the second Wayfinder here. Swat Away is pretty good, though. I don't know which of these I want. It does cost 4, unless they're attacking me. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Ooh, Spiral and a Solitude with 5 cards left in the pack. White is just wide open. That's kind of unbelievable. Whatever, we're not going to play these cards. They don't matter. I mean, it's looking good. I wouldn't be unhappy to play all 20 of these. There's cards we could cut, but every single creature is a merfolk, and the rest of it is mostly just removal. I swear, y'all. This is a live stream, not even a draft video, so, you know, I have no control over this. Sometimes you draft goblins, and then you get all the goblins cards. Sometimes you draft merfolk, and you get all the merfolk cards. I mean, wish I ran like this in the Pro Tour. Thanks, Dara. I'm surprised that's not the merfolk command. We could very easily splash this with 2 Changeling Wayfinders. We won't get it off stone or anything. It's an elemental. Let's say we don't take it. What are we taking? Well, there's like no cards in this pack I actually want. So I guess we'll take the command. Did I pick up any of those Cinder Strikes? No. But we could put 1 mountain in the deck. And with 2 Changeling Wayfinders. So then we have the command off the single red splash. I mean, those mediocre changelings are not particularly appealing. Springleaf Drum can be okay in this deck because Merfolk's the deck that taps to do things. Like tap this to get a counter off, tap this to gain 2 life, tap this to give +2/+0, tap this to give -3/-0. So I'm not saying like we can't play that, and it's also a fixer. That said, if we're going to do the light red splash, now the 1 tri-land does matter, even though we have the 2 Wayfinders. So probably I should grab an Evolving Wilds while it's not over much. Yeah, our mana's already quite good. I mean, so now it's a question of Unexpected Assistance or Shore Lurker, I guess. Normally this would be an easy Shore Lurker. I mean, sorry, an easy Unexpected Assistance. I think Unexpected Assistance is a much better card in general. But I have so much potential card advantage with 3 Gathering Stones. I don't know that I even want to draw cards. I mostly just want to hit the board. Along those lines too, honestly, I could even consider Temporal Cleansing. But I really do want to stuff as many playable merfolk into my deck as possible. So I think the right pick here is probably just Shore Lurker. Now remember, this is because I have 3 Gathering Stones. If you're drafting merfolk out there, you want to generally be taking Unexpected Assistance over Shore Lurker. It's a substantially better card. This is me going pretty far for a good reason. I kind of need some more 2s and 3s. My curve isn't looking great. Like, it's not horrible. Like, I can always spiral into Solitude their 2-drop, and I wouldn't even feel bad about it if it's just keeping parity to get to stone. But I could use a little bit more. Well, I guess we can take one of the Changeling here. So we have 3 3-drops, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 2-drops, 3 3-drops, and then a bunch of removal. A bunch of 2-mana removal. Kind of feel like the lifelinker is going to be decent for us with the stones. We're looking to play longer games. We're not going to play any of these cards. I'm not big on hate drafting, but there's no reason not to hate draft the champion because I'm not going to play the Sundappled Celebrant in this deck. 2-mana 2/2 lifelink merfolk is good for us. Not lifelink, but when it becomes tapped, gain 2. That's a card that can prolong games, allow us to win with our card advantage. So we're going to have to make some cuts now. We have a land, so 26. Probably we'll play 17 lands in this deck. So we'll have to cut like 3 spells. I don't even know what they can be. Cut like Distractor maybe. We're not going to play any of these cards. Yeah, Deceit is probably cuttable. I mean, 6 mana 5/5 bounce a permanent's a good card. Oh yeah, we're gonna play 3 stones. Maybe it's a little much, but you know, see how it goes. I mean, I can play 16 lands with 3 Wayfinders, but if I don't draw land 3, like, I'm pretty screwed. It's nice when you're 16 if you have at least 1 or 2 2-mana cards that, like, draw a card or something. I don't really have that. We'll take a look at what's potentially cuttable when we lay it out. We do have to cut a handful of cards. Clearly this lane was open. So what is cuttable? Our worst 2s, Summit Sentinel. I don't think we're cutting any of these merfolk 2s. There's only 4 of them. We're not cutting the 2-mana removal spell from our 3 stone deck. We could cut the 3rd copy of Wayfinder. I think we would definitely play 2. I don't think we necessarily need 3. Our weakest 4-drop is Distractor. Our weakest 4-drop spell, I don't know, Swat Away or Cleansing. Kind of feel like with double Preacher in this deck, like Cleansing could just be better. Percher's kind of mediocre, so is Deceit. I know Deceit looks like a big fancy mythic, but like 6 mana 5/5 bounce something, that's a fine card, and it's nice that if you're like drew exactly 4 lands and you have lots to do, you can do other things, but it's not a great card. We're gonna cut most of that. I kind of just want to play my merfolk, I think. Maybe I'm going too far with the concept, but I kind of feel like I should just cut all this stuff and just play all merfolk. I've got plenty of interaction. 2 Solitudes and a Blossom Bind, Liminal Hold, Temporal Cleansing, and the command. It's true I could play 1 Swamp and play the champion. I have a decent amount of changelings. I don't think it's worth doing that though. Because I mean, I'd rather splash the red-blue command, I think. So probably 9/7/1. Need both kinds of mana. But we have a lot of white 2-drops, and we can go get our blue on turn 3. I think 3 Wayfinder might be too much, because I don't want to draw 2. I'm happy to draw 1, but I don't want to draw 2. Why is it 18 lands? Oh, because of Evolving Wilds, so I have to cut 1. So probably the 9th Plains, because that's still 9. 9 early sources. I have the 8 Plains and the Wilds. Yeah, 13 creatures. I mean, I don't think that's that bad. Remember, Gathering Stone is going to draw us creatures. Like, I think, like, every single one of the 13 creatures in my deck are merfolk. So, like, you don't want to obsess too much over the hard number of creature count. Like, unless you're playing, like, a bunch of pump spells and things that really depend on you having creatures in play at all times. Like, I'm not going to be unable to close with the total set of creatures I have if I'm drawing 2 cards a turn off stone. And my other cards are just like removal. Spiral into Solitude, Liminal Hold, Blossom Bind. So those don't require me having a creature out and alive to work. So I think the only time I would super worry about creature count is when you draft decks with like a lot of pump spells or equipment where like your cards are not going to perform well if you don't have a creature alive in play. Yeah, so it's a great question, Kelvin Dill. It's obviously a card that gets better and better the more hits you have, so it's not like there's one hard number. But I will say, people always underestimate those kind of cards. That card, if you have 6 hits, 7 hits in your deck, I don't even think you should play it. But then from there, it gets playable and better quick. Like if I have 9 or 10 hits in my deck, I think it's solid. If you've got like 12, 13, 14 hits in your deck, I think it's really good. So when you get the stones, you just have to draft like a heavy tribal deck if you want them to be good. And if you only have like 6, 7 hits, don't put it in your deck. Remember, changelings count, tribal spells count. It's just about total hits off of the stone. I'm going to play these 2/2 first. I guess I could have played the 1/3 and then tapped the 2/2 next turn, but I want to play the 2/3 next turn and spend 3 mana. So I'm going to play this 2/2 in case I get the ability to attack with it. Probably won't block either of these 2 creatures in play, but I might get to attack back. Yeah, I might catch some of the Arena Limited Qualifiers Magnus in us. Okay, so we're not going to block, but then we'll attack back and gain our 2. Now, the question is, which 3-drop do we want? I mean, we can always play the Wayfinder later and then play the land immediately, so I think we want to get out the 2/3 lifelink. So I'm going to play the Mountain, might scare them off from blocking with their 1/3. Probably it won't, probably they'll block, but maybe they won't. But I'm tapping my creature either way to get our 2 life. And then we'll put out the Changeling. Hey Blind Guardian, I am back. Not streaming on a super regular schedule or anything, but once or twice a week, just when I feel like drafting and have some energy. I'm drafting on Mikko because I hate best of 1, and because the best of 3 is just too soft on Arena, especially early in the formats. I really wish they'd put up like a ranked best of 3 so that, you know, I could get a good ranking and then play good opponents. But I just find the draft quality to not be the best there. So, what do we want to do here? I could play Wayfinder and Temporal Cleansing, or I could play like Scoundrel and then Unexpected Assistance. Probably that's the right play. I don't have anything I want to discard. Oh, I won't have double blue, so I can't do that. You can use the blue creatures, of course, for Convoke, but I don't have a blue creature out, so I can cast one and use it immediately, but I'm going to be 1 blue short, so that's not an option. I do best of 3 on Arena sometimes, but I just feel like the level of play is not that good in those, because they're not ranked, and there's a lot of newer players on Arena. Whereas these Moto Draft Leagues are just really tough. Like, everyone, you can find mistakes anywhere. Obviously, not all of your opponents are great anywhere. But overall, there's a lot of really experienced drafters in these Magic Online draft leagues. So what do we want to do? Feels like Wayfinder, get an island, play it, and then Temporal Cleansing is how we are most efficient. I don't really want a Temporal Cleansing, anything they have in play in particular. I guess I can just hit the Prankster. I mean, it's not really, like, it's a great turn, and then I'm spending, like, all my mana, all my creatures on Convoke, etc. It just doesn't feel that good, but I think this is how we develop and be productive. I can't cast Assistance because I don't have double blue. Now I do, obviously, but I didn't. So I don't know. I don't think this is, like, super effective use of all these cards. But most of Goblin's creatures are pretty small, and I have Solitude if they play some good creature I really want to deal with. And I do want to develop and get that second island and get creatures in play so that I can cast this Unexpected Assistance and not be, like, far behind. So I think this was the right play for this turn, just in terms of, like, kind of development. Even though I'm, you know, Temporal Cleansing a 2-drop, that's not ideal. I didn't really have other great options. Like, I could spend 4 mana playing Scoundrel and Solitude, but then I'd be Solituding one of these small creatures. I didn't want to do that. And I couldn't cast Unexpected Assistance. Now I have an extra land I can discard. Now I have double blue. Yeah, I could have hit the enchantment, but I don't know. There's not that many, like, there's not that much blighting going on. Like, I know the Goblin deck blights, but they don't have any cards in play that blight every turn. So if they blight once, I can just take 2. I'm at 20 with a gain 2 and a lifelinker in play. I felt like the Bogart was going to do more than the Tarfire, probably. So if I attack with, like, the 2/3, they could block, like, a 1/1 and a 2/3. That's pretty bad. So this just, to me, looks like a chill scenario. Unexpected Assistance will probably find me some better things to do. So I think I just play Scoundrel for now. If I draw my, whatchamacallit, the elemental command, then I can deal 2 to everything. That'll be pretty good. Also, I have like 2 shore lurkers, 3/3 flyers that I can start attacking them with. Also, if I get a stone going, then I'll be drawing like multiple cards every turn. I can, you know, bin any land even though they don't go to my hand and draw extra merfolk left and right. I mean, unfortunately, I don't really have any like personal stories with Kai, but I'm the exact age where like when I first started playing in PTQs and I played in my first Pro Tour in 1999, and then I got on the Pro Tour as a teenager, as like a 17, 18-year-old in like 2001. Kai was just in his godlike mode where he won 3 Pro Tours in a row and he was getting over 100 pro points a year and just like decimating everybody else. So I'll always just remember him as the Magic Pro who, like, there was like a tier all by himself and then there was everybody else, you know? It was like, we didn't ask who was the best or rank anybody. It was just, there was this one guy who had like Magic God status, and then it was like ranked 2nd through 10th. Okay, so end of turn, we'll do the assistance. It's end of their turn, of course, so we'll tap creatures rather than pay mana. Oops, we do have to pay a 2nd blue, though. No, not in that era, Careless. Finkel was considered the best player before Kai became the best. Like in 1998, Finkel was the best. And then I'm sure there was a period in like 98, 99 where it was like, oh, this Kai guy, maybe it's a debate. But when I'm talking about in like 2001, 2002, like it was Kai all the way. Like nobody like debated in 2002. Like Kai literally won 3 Pro Tours in a row. Like Finkel at that point obviously was still great, but it wasn't really a debate. Okay, so they played that Goblin Enchantment. We can't really do much. I mean, I can tap my gain 2/1 to make my 1/3 unblockable. That seems fine. I could always just wreck their board with command, but I don't know that that has a ton of value right now. I can do that later, you know, and like, what's the real upside of killing these 1/1s and 2/2s? So I think for now, I think I just want to attack, gain my 2 life. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, Careless. Kai won Worlds in 99, and then it started to be like a debate, and then he won 3 Pro Tours in a row in 2001, and then it was just like, what is going on here? Like, so here I think we attack with the 1/3, tap the 2/2 to gain 2, and then I'll just play 2 more creatures. Like, they don't really have scary attacks. I can't let my life get low at all because they do have the Drain enchantment, but I'm at 21. And this creature you tap to make it unblockable, so they can't block it, so they can't mess up this combo unless they use a removal from their hand. You know, it's not like they can't like block either creature or anything like that. So for now, I see no reason really not to just develop on board for a turn. Maybe they'll play another 2 toughness creature to die to the command, right? And then as far as what else am I doing with the command, I can copy this changeling. Remember, it doesn't copy the counters, so I'll get a 2/3 lifelink. Or I can draw 2 cards, right? Hey, and there's another 2/2, and that's one that I actually kind of want to kill before it starts growing. Ironically, I think if it dies and these other things die, they'll get the triggers from those counters, so they'll get 2 surveils, but the ante will die and not turn into a 4/4. And like, I like to be greedy, but I only want to be so greedy. So if they pass the turn here, and I have the ability to blow up like the 5 creatures now, including the ante, I'm probably going to take it, right? Last turn was a little different, because last turn I had 2 more creatures to put in play, and there wasn't a creature that there was actually a lot of value in removing in particular. But this thing can grow pretty easily. They can blight onto one of their own creatures, grow it to a 3/3, and then I'll never be able to kill it with command, right? So I think this is the turn to use command. I think it was good not to use it last turn, let them play a creature that potentially could grow. But now, yeah, maybe it's 4, not 2, sorry. I don't know how it works, if they can remove a counter or not. But, yeah, so they might get like a ton of surveil triggers. But what are you going to do, right? They're surveil, not drawing cards. So they're going to get to pull up 1 good card, right? And I think now is the time. So the question is, do I want to draw 2, or do I want to copy the 2/3 changeling? That feels pretty close, right? Would I rather draw 2 cards or have an extra 2/3 lifelink in play? Copy the 1/3? Maybe that's an option too. I think I'd rather have a 2/3 lifelink than the 1/3, but it's close. That's certainly an option as well. I mean, probably I just want to draw 2 cards, but I mean, at this point, lands aren't particularly useful for me. And unless they're going to have some kind of sweeper, which they probably aren't, I'm going to be way ahead on board. Remember, they're going to have only the Bogart out, and I'm losing, like, nothing. Oh, yeah, I can't copy the merfolk. What am I saying? Yeah, I let chat derail me there. I can only copy the 2/3. It's not a choice. This can only copy elementals. So my choice is make a 2/3 or draw 2. And I think make a 2/3 is better. I think I'd rather be further ahead on board. And what I can do is pump the 2/3 with this merfolk flyer, because the 2/3 is both an elemental and a merfolk. So it's really like a 4/3 lifelink. So I think that's the right play. I think the right play here is to create a copy of my 2/3 lifelink and deal 2 to all of their creatures. I know it pains some people who love drawing cards to see someone make a 2/3 lifelink rather than draw 2 cards, but I really don't need lands at all at this point. So draw 2 is really like 1 spell. And is my spell going to be better than a 2/3 lifelink in play this turn against a little goblin deck? And while like my life isn't low, I do want to be gaining life and staying out of range, because I'm way up in cards, but they have Tarfire and Mischief out of a goblin deck. So like I don't think they're going to be able to ping and drain me out, but it is one of the more likely ways I could lose a game that's going extremely well for me, right? I'm sorry. I know it's the not greedy play. I know it's disappointing to just copy the 2/3 lifelink. It's so boring, so meat and potatoes. You know, I know it's more fun to draw cards. But against a goblin deck, when I'm already up so many cards and up so much on board, it seems better. I'm pretty confident it's better, if I'm being real. It might be less fun, but the ways I'm going to lose to them are not going to be because I didn't draw 2. It's going to be because they're able to sneak in 20 with this Mischief and Tarfire or something like that. Or if they just like overtake the board with good things. Because all my stuff is pretty small and grimy, but not very powerful. Betraying the goblins after it just won us a trophy. Well, this draft we opened merfolk stuff. It was somebody else's turn to get to employ the goblin horde. So their 2/3 has 2 damage on it, so I think I'll probably just attack with pretty much everything. Like, I would be happy to trade with that, I think, because all my creatures are basically smaller than it. There's no real benefit to tapping the 2/3, but I guess I will. No, there's not even any 1 red tricks, right? Cinder Strike is in sorcery, and the red 1 pump spell is 2 mana. It's red and 1 plus 3/2. So I guess there's not really a reason to give this unblockable or anything. And then I'm just going to give the +2/+0 to the lifelinker. so that so no matter what they choose to block, I gain 3 life and not 1. Cool. I guess those plays worked out. So we're up against a little goblin deck. They're on the play. They have that good enchantment. Maybe I want the 1/3 against them. As much as I went for the all merfolk build, on the draw against goblins, I probably should bring that in. Just throw it out there and then block with it. Probably I can take out a land. I'm playing 17. Do I have 8 plains or 7? 8. How many islands? 7 wilds and a mountain. So, I mean, I could take out 1 plains, and then I still have 7 white plus wilds, so that's 8 plus the 2 changelings. I mean, maybe I could take out 1 gathering stone. I mean, that card is better on the play than the draw, and better against more control-y decks than aggro decks. Somebody immediately says no. I'll still have 2 of them. I don't want to be too greedy. I want to not get run over. I think this looks right. Bring in those summon sentinels, right? I don't want to lower the power level too much because my deck is a bunch of grindy stuff with the stones as the primary way to win. But they're a little goblin deck. I still have 2 stones. Plus I have like the draw 3 and the merfolk champion. And the 1/3s are pretty nice against goblins. Like, you know, because if they use a pump or, you know, if they finish them off with something, I get to draw a card. And if not, they're up there sucking up damage turn after turn. So, like, especially on the draw. If I go on the play for game 3, like, hopefully this doesn't go to a game 3, but let's say it does, I'm going to take those 1/3s back out, and I'll probably board back in the stone and the land or something. Or maybe I'll board in something else. But the 1/3s are a lot better on the draw when you're really just looking to block and slow down your opponent and not pressure them, right? I'm going to get this Rejury going as quickly as I can. Obviously, it could be hard to get going against them. I don't know if we're going to be able to, but if I'm gonna, it's going to be by playing it, and then I can like kill their blocker and attack and turn it into a 3/2. That first attack might be difficult. If I'm able to make that first attack, then I'll be able to attack again and turn it into a 4/3 for sure. And even if I just have to trade it off, so be it. Like, I'm not going to block Bile Bogart with it, but if I have to trade it off for like a mid-sized creature, that's okay. Given we have 13 merfolk and 2 elemental, or 12 merfolk and 2 elemental, we're probably still going to name merfolk Life and Guard. So now we have, well, we don't have an attack no matter what, because even if I pacify the 2/2, they could just double block it with the 1/3 and the 1/1. But I'm still going to attack and just let them trade with it, because otherwise it's just going to sit there being a 2/1, and then I'll play the 2/3 lifelink. So like, this is about the least effective Rejury can be, but I don't have that much Convoke, and I didn't draw any tap to get or any of that. So I think the best I'm going to get out of the Rejury is trading with a 2/2. And then after that, I can play a 2/3 lifelink, see how that goes. They should block with Elder Ante here, I think. Maybe they'll double block with Prankster in the 1/1, but that seems a little riskier for them, and I'm not even sure, like, if I were them, I'd probably rather lose Ante than Prankster. The reason you pay an extra mana for Ante is because you get a 1/1 with it. But once they're in play, 1/3 plus 1 plus 0 to an attacking goblin is better than 2/2. So I expect they'll just throw Ante in front of this. But maybe they'll be afraid of a trick or something and won't block at all, which is good, because then my creature can keep growing, potentially. I do have to survive, but I've got the lifelinker, and assuming I draw land, I can play Solitude and the 2/2 or Stone. This could not have been a good turn cycle by them. No block, no attack is interesting. Maybe they have something that makes them want all of this stuff in play. But I mean, they could have attacked with just the 2/2 and given it +1/+0. And they could have blocked the 3/2 with just the 2/2, which is pretty safe, pretty solid trade for them. Okay, so I think here we want to spiral the 4/3. It's by far their biggest creature. Then we attack. Do we attack with both or just the Regery? What is their block like on the Feastling? They could put a 2/2 and a 1/1 on it. I trade with a 2/2 and I gain 2. That's unnecessary. I'm still at 16. So I think I'm just going to Solitude up the 4/3. It's by far their biggest creature. I guess they can still just double block the Regery. So maybe I shouldn't even attack, honestly. I mean, if they're going to take it, I'd be really happy to attack with it. But if they block it with the Auntie and the Prankster, then I'm just trading a 3/2 for, like, the Prankster. It's pretty mediocre. Let's just chill. I do have Convoke and Tap to Gain in my deck, even though I didn't draw any. Also, I have the Command. I know I don't have the red land or it. But, you know, if I play Stone, I start digging through my deck. I find one of those 1/2 changelings that gets the mountain, and then maybe I find the Command, maybe I don't. I'm perfectly happy to play a chill game against goblins. I don't think I was in a position to try and get Stone going last turn, but now that I killed their 4/3 and added a 2/2, I feel alright about it. So let's see. If they don't pump the Auntie, I can block that with the Feastling. They're making this attack to grow the Auntie, which is fine. It's not like I'm just going to be able to take all their creatures indefinitely. I could take it for like a turn. So they did grow that. So I think I just want some free kills, right? I guess if I don't do much blocking or any blocking, I could like attack back. How much damage is it? 1, 4, 5, 6? Because then I could gain 4 when this becomes tapped and the lifelink. I guess I can do that anyway. I can just spiral into Solitude on the Heirloom Ante. It feels kind of bad to do that instead of play Stone and only use 2 mana instead of 4. But I can just hit back for 8 and gain 4. So, I mean, that feels decent. And I'm growing the Regery. This is actually pretty interesting. So, like, one option is to just take it all, and then they just have a 1/3 and a 2/2 on tap, and no Surveil triggers. Then I can attack back with all my creatures, and I'll be at 10, 3, 5, 6, 7, I'll be at 9, but I'll go back to 13. But then I do have to, if I'm playing Stone, then I have no blockers, so that's probably not good for the following turn. So I think I just want to eat the 2 1/1s, and then Solitude up the Auntie, and then just attack back with everything, right? I mean, maybe I'm better off trading this 2/2 with this Auntie. I mean, my 2/2 has an ability and theirs doesn't. But you kind of want to give them all their Surveil triggers at once. Because as soon as they find something good, they're going to stop. And also, like, goblins later could be a problem if they have, like the Mischief, which we know they have. But also, if I find the Command, I'd rather everything be sitting in play. So this is kind of close. And I'm not even dealing them 2 when I attack back. They have a 1/3. Although I guess I am getting 2 through, because now the 1/3 can block the 2/3 lifelink. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do here, to be honest. I think I like this. Well, yeah, but you don't really Surveil if you just look at it and leave it on top, right? Like, my point is, like, if I give them 3 right now, let's say their top card is a good card, it's like I didn't give them that extra one. Like, I made the trade now when the Surveil doesn't have value for them. Like, each surveil gets less valuable. Like if you give somebody 4 surveil 1s, that's less. It's better than having 1 surveil 1, but it's less valuable than having 4 different surveil 1s over the next 4 turns. Let's say potentially. There could also be value in finding something now, but ultimately, like this isn't like this is limited. They're probably not playing like they're not digging for something or something like that. They're probably just looking to get a good card. So probably they're going to surveil and then, oh, okay, a removal spell or like an uncommon or whatever, and then they're going to stop surveilling. So I'd rather, if I'm already killing 2 of their creatures, I'd rather kill more right now, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so now we're gonna spiral up the 4/4. The main reason I took this line, and I'm not saying it was definitely correct, was because I wanted to grow the Reejery. Because, I mean, if they don't have removal, this Reejery is about to be a 5/4. That's a real problem for all their small creatures. Looks like they agreed. Currently 4-0. I'll be surprised if we go 6-0 here. I don't think this deck is that good. I mean, if I get a smooth draw with the stones, I mean, I do have like all merfolk, but I think the power level was much higher in my last deck. My last deck, like I had the black champion, which is better than the blue one, although the blue one's pretty good too, the merfolk one. I also had the command that was on tribe. That deck just felt like, and I just had like the good efficient removal. Like that deck and the curve was beautiful. This deck's a little glutted at 4 because of all the stones. Yeah, I don't think that their all-out attack there was great. I don't think they really thought that through. Probably what they should have been doing was attacking with 1 creature and pumping it with the 1/3. And then I would have to block, and they'd get their 1 surveil 1, or I'd have to take 3, and then they'd have blocks up. Yeah, I mean, the stone didn't look great, but also I played against goblins. Well, I mean, I only drew it in 1 game. I didn't even draw it in game 1. But I played against goblins. I was on the draw, and they had a fast hand. That's why I boarded 1 copy out. It's not going to look its best there. This game I'll probably get stuck on 2 or 3 with the stone in my hand. All right, so we have to go get our island. We can't get a splash land. Get the Reejery going as fast as possible. I guess there could have been some argument for the Trapper turn 1. I should at least discuss it, but you know, it's more important to get the Reejery growing right away than to get a 1-mana 2/1 in play turn 1. Probably they were going to play like a 2 or a 3 drop, and I wasn't expecting it was just going to deal 4. But also, like, if I didn't draw an untapped land, you know, on 2, it would be really bad to not get the Reejery growing. That's just, like, way more important. Okay, so now I'm going to play Wayfinder because it's going to go get land 4, and now we'll see how the stone does, right? So, you know, we kept parity up to this point. We're going to fall slightly behind, but now we get to unlock the stone, and we'll see if it's going to be effective. Can I take a second one? I can't take a second one. 1 is enough value, right? Not yet. I can't take a second one. Plus, if I top that, that means I'm looking at it again during my upkeep, which means I don't have any shot to get a free merfolk. That would be way too greedy. Like, we're falling a little behind, but we still have plenty of life. Now we can draw extra cards, and we can play our stuff on the cheap. I can't top the second stone there. So do I want this land? Kind of. Well, what am I going to cast this turn? A 3 and a 2? I'd rather it be an island, but I can cast the double blue card with Convoke anyway. I think I probably want to draw that. I have a lot to do. I'm never going to get a free card here off stone if I top that, but I think I'm topping that. That's a good card. And then, I guess this one, I'm probably not looking to cast the Convoke spell yet. Next turn, we're looking at 4 for the liminal and then 1 for one of these 2 cards. Yeah, but I'm not Convoking yet next turn. The turn after that, probably. Should maybe make sure to get the Scoundrel out so that I can do it. Alright, so I'm looking to play the long game here. So I'm perfectly happy to make trades even with my flyers. I have inevitability because of the stone. So I only have 6 power, so I can't kill both their creatures. So I mean, this just seems like the obvious block. I guess maybe actually this is just better. I mean, if they have like removal, I guess it's sort of worse, but like I don't care if they kill either of these small creatures. And they can only kill 1 in combat. This seems good to me. This is like a solid trade up. I mean, maybe they'll play a pump spell and eat the 2 creatures, but like, who cares? I don't care about those creatures. Okay, so no, we don't want to put the card in the graveyard. So now we'll kill this 4/4 for sure. This thing is a pain. Even though it looks like they're more of a Kithkin deck, like, I don't think I could ever effectively block that. I guess I should plan my blocks. So we know they're going to be able to give +1/+1. So this was effectively a 4/5. So I'm going to put what? 3/3 and 1/3 and 1/2 on top of it. That works. And then they can only kill 1 of the creatures. Okay. That works well. So no attacks though. I don't care about my flyer. I'm just looking to keep a stalemate and then win the game with my draw 3 and my stone over the long haul. So far that doesn't change much because now they don't have 5 available to pump. I think they're going to play another thing. So now that's a 5/6. So now I don't have any good blocks on it. So they get to get in a nice attack with that this turn. If I can't kill it, there's no need to chump it here. I'm at 18. So they double pumped it, so we'll take our 5. Cool. Free cards, we like that. And now I think we're going to be able to play our cards. The only thing is, if we want an unexpected assistance, we have to leave the blue up because we only have 1 blue creature and it's double blue. We can do that. I just have to play the plains, but that's all right. I'll probably find a land to discard in 3 cards, and if not, I'll discard the weakest of the 3. No big deal. So I have to play the plains. We'll get rid of their graveyard stuff. Play everything and just pass the turn. Because, I mean, I don't even care if they 2-for-1 me. I can't lose the long game drawing 2 cards a turn. And remember, this doesn't only draw 2 cards when you hit a merfolk. Every time there's a land on top, I just surveil it to the graveyard, and lands are dead for both players pretty much at this point. So milling a land off the top is like not much different than drawing a card. So I'm kind of chilling. Now that's a little annoying. I do have to decide whether to group block that or just take the hits. I think I'm still just going to take the hit now that they pumped it so much. There'll be a turn. I mean, I guess they can always now pay and make a creature and give it trample, but what would it look like if I put everything on it? They have no cards in hand, so I know they can't do anything. So I'd have to deal at 8, so I'd probably block it with like these 4, and then they have 7, so they get to kill like, well, they only get to kill 2 of the creatures. They could kill the 2 3/3 flyers. That actually doesn't seem that bad for me. The problem is they're just going to switch and pump something else. So I don't really think it's great. In the future, I can tap a big creature, and then they have smaller creatures to deal with. I think I'm going to take it for now. Next turn, I'll probably look at a block. Maybe I should have attacked with the flyers if I was going to take it, but well, they made 2 creatures. I didn't know that was going to happen. But we'll see what we draw. Plan for next turn, obviously. Okay, so now I can command their board away, which might have been a reason to block it, but I can just tap it. So I can hit them with the flyers, command away their entire board, tap that. I don't know if I want the second stone or the island here. I guess I might cast the second stone on a future turn. Can't imagine I really need that island. Yeah, I still just don't think I need the lands. I mean, so now I can cast, it's 1 and 5. So I can cast this and get a land, but then I can't also tap. So if I do the command now, I don't really need to tap. I could also let them attack and then command. It's kind of risky. Feels like blowing up their board here should just be enough, right? I can copy the rooftop percher. I can tap the 3/4 on their turn. Like, I shouldn't be that greedy, right? I know I used to say greed is good, but now in my old age, I'm just a coward. Just create a copy. I know they have the pump available, that's why it's kind of risky, but they also have to do things. Like probably I block this and then they make a 1/1 to give it +1/+1 and trample, and then I team them for even more. I just don't think I need to do that though. I think this is enough. Like they might concede. Like I think this is like pretty game over. And they did concede. I do occasionally stream Mazrim as I have pretty good evidence for at this current exact moment. Not as much as I used to, but definitely, I've been streaming, I would say, on average once a week. And I always play Magic. Even when I completely quit Magic, when I quit the Pro Tour in 2004 for a few years to focus on poker, I still always drafted. I'd still come home from the casino and fire up a draft, like, on Magic Online, like, you know. I think I've got to be one of the only people who can say, from the point I started playing Magic in 1994 till today, 31 years later, I've never quit Magic. I've quit, like, traveling to competitive tournaments, but, like, I've never quit drafting with friends or drafting on Magic Online after work, so to speak, and stuff like that. It's too good. Like, just can't quit. It's too good of a game. So against a ground green-white Kithkin deck, this 5/6 looks pretty good. I don't know what I want to take out, if anything. I could take out a stone. Again, I'm on the draw against an aggro deck. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of true, what Fancy Pants saying, like, half-jokingly. The thing is, like, when you already have the inevitability, when you already have the card engine, you don't need even more cards, right? So, it's good if you have ways to loot stones away, as well as clearing them themselves from the top, because you don't actually need multiple in play. But it is good to have your one out, so that you have inevitability, and you win the game with all that extra fuel. I do want this Celebrant, I think. Against a green-white ground creature deck, I think that this 5/6 is going to be a good blocker. It's going to be a very effective card. I think 2 stones is probably right on the draw versus aggro. I guess I could take a land out also. I was less inclined this time because instead of 1/3 draw cards, I brought in a 5/6. But really, this deck and most decks probably only need 16 when you know you're going to be on the draw. So no decisions. Maybe we can get the red with the Wayfinder. We don't need double blue very much, but we definitely need single blue a lot. I think the only double blue card I have is that Convoke card draw spell, and you can even tap blue creatures towards it. This is going to be a tough one. Well, this is as a sorcery, right? Yeah, so I would happily trade with any of their creatures. They're probably just going to take it, but I'll get in my damage and gain my life. I don't really have any choices here. Put out the lifelinker. Next turn, I can liminal hold the 3/2. I mean, it's not a big deal. Right now, it's just plus a mana or two. And then before they can flip it back and make more stuff, I can kill it. So it's a scary flip rare, but that's because if they start a turn with it out, let's say next turn after playing another thing this turn, it's plus a lot of mana. This turn, it's still plus. They paid 1 and it already adds 2, but that's not that scary. If they had something to play, then they could tap it and get 3 and then play something else maybe. But that requires having a really specific hand and a lot of cards. It would get much scarier next turn if they play something and then they untap with 7 mana. And then even if they don't have stuff to do with that, they can flip it back and forth. That said, I have to make a choice now because, that Moon Vigil can grow and grow and grow. So, it's not growing that well if I kill the 3/2. But also if I kill it, I can attack with both my creatures. So I have a tough choice now, I think. I think this turn, I want to kill either the 3/2 flip rare or the 4/4. I don't know which. If I kill the 4/4, I can try and race. The end result here is they're at 14 and I'm at 22, and then I have my flyer. That thing also does die to the red command if I ever draw it, and the 4/4 doesn't. So I'm kind of inclined to kill the 4/4. It's kind of annoying that they can make a 1/1 every other turn, but 1/1 every other turn doesn't scare me that much if I'm trying to win in the air with flyers and I have the red-blue command in my deck. Whereas this thing, being big is a problem, right? So I'm actually kind of inclined to kill the uncommon here over the rare. Plus, it just is right now, it just gives me a really good attack. I get to tap this in game 2 and hit for 2 lifelink. The bad thing, though, is I didn't draw stone. I know I boarded 1 out. I still have 2 more. I'm going to run out of steam and probably lose to that and whatever else they do, unless I find the red-blue command or one of my stones. But I do have a surveil one, so that can help. And with the life totals where they're at, if I can find a stone and they can't remove it, I feel pretty good. So part of why I went with 17 lands for this deck, even though I had the 2 Wayfinders and I went with 16 for the last one, was I was more worried about flooding in the last one. I had 1 rummage dude or whatever. In this one, I have 3 stones, so flooding isn't really a problem if I have a stone out. Stones kind of make you flood proof, right? Okay. Not the worst draw. Assuming they don't have an answer, I think we probably just want to slap down the 5/6, right? Big enough to block all their stuff. Wasn't great sideboarding in the sense that I'd rather just drawn a stone here, I think. But hopefully they don't have an answer. The 5/6 looks quite good against their board, right, as we drew it up. So if they don't have, the pacifism or something, the 5/6 prevents them from really doing anything. And if I create a stalemate, then I can find the red-blue command or one of the stones. Well, looks like they did have a solitude. Now I really wish I had drawn a stone instead. So, not looking good here. The 4-mana stone that lets you draw the card whenever the top card of your deck is your tribe. So I can't block anything. These all have first strike, but it's not lethal. It's a lot of damage, but it's not lethal. So probably like the only way I can win this game is the red-blue command. So I definitely think I have to play this. Go get that mountain. This way if I get lucky and top deck it, maybe I can cast it next turn. And I have to try and make whatever blocks, make it so that I kill any like 3 toughness creatures if I can. Because I'm pretty sure I'm on like a 1-outer to not be dead. Being exactly that. Because almost all their creatures have 2 toughness. This thing. So like if I were to play that card, they'd be left with only these 2 creatures in play. Not sure exactly what I'm going to have left after this turn if I can survive. But if I draw a deal 2 to all their stuff, I don't think the game is over. So they make the attack that doesn't allow me to make trades like I wanted. This thing has trample, so chumping it isn't great. Do I just go to 2, or do I chump with the changeling here? I mean, it's the same 2 damage it's going to absorb on a future turn, if not more. So I don't really see what chump blocking accomplishes. I'm perfectly willing to die to a pump spell if they have that. So I think I'm just taking the 5. Red-blue command. No good. As good a card as that is, it's not red-blue command, so it goes in the yard. We're pretty much a one-trick pony at this point. I'm not saying we can survive this turn. Maybe we can if they have 2 lands in hand. Because if they don't play a creature to give anything trample, I'm really at 4, not 2. So I think I can probably block enough stuff. If they do give something trample, again, I'm at 4, not 2. Maybe I can throw a 3 toughness in front of the 4/5 and survive. It's close. They have 7, 8 attackers to my 5 blockers. But a lot of their creatures have 1 power, and I'm at 4 life. So it's super close. I might be dead. Probably if they alpha'd, I'm dead. But we'll see. No real decisions here. Just line up blocks. That looks like Xaxes, right? The 1 point of trample plus the 3/1/1s. There's no way for me to absorb any less damage. I'm letting through the 3 smallest creatures, and I'm putting my biggest toughness on the 4/5. So it looks like I'm exactly dead. I don't think there's anything I can do. Alright, so we're going to game 3. I mean, that 5/6 still looks pretty good. If they don't have the pacifism, that's just bigger than all their stuff, right? That said, you can't pacify a stone, and you can pacify a 5/6. So would I rather have the Celebrant, or would I rather have the 3rd stone? Stone is better on the play. You're less far behind. And I'm 17 lands, 2 Wayfinders, so I hope I can just play land 4, turn 4. Some upsides are I can tap these and gain 2 life when I cast it. I think we should just go max stones on the play. I'm more inclined for the 5/6 on the draw because I might need a blocker on turn 4. On the play, I'm hoping I can just slap down stone on turn 4. Well, 1 lander despite our 17. This hand looks okay. I mean, it doesn't have a 2-drop. And I can't really put back a land, so what am I putting back here? Rooftop Percher, Temporal Cleansing. This would be a much better 7 than a 6. Obviously, I'm keeping it. The question is just what do we put back? It basically has to be the Percher or the Cleansing. I think the Percher makes more sense. I'm going to shuffle it in with the Wayfinder, and then it's another hit off the stone. I also just might need to put back something they pump or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Cleansing hasn't seemed great against their deck, but if I'm able to dump creatures out cheap with the stone, then I can tap them and play the Cleansing for like 1 mana and catch back up. I have plenty of cheap cards, so this is not an ideal draw here, but we'll take it. Go grab that mountain. If we do find the Elemental Command, probably our best card against them. Well, not probably, by far our best card against them. Now, I could wait 1 turn and play the champion, but I could also play the champion next turn. Like, I can take a hit for 5 and then catch back up. So I think that probably makes more sense. Just get the stone going. No, but we'll definitely top that. And next turn, we can play the champion for 3 mana. We can like behold the changeling we have in play, and we can play that pacifism on something. So that's all looking fine and dandy. The problem is none of their creatures are particularly good to pacify. I need them to just play like a 4 mana 4/4 or something. I could also just behold from my hand and then tap the 4 creatures in cleansing. And given this thing stuns when it comes into play, it's not like I really need to use the pacifism. Although now that there's a good target for it, I'm perfectly happy to use all my mana like that. So we want to go pacifism on this thing, I think. Attack for 1. And then we'll play the champion, removing the changeling. Lock down one of their creatures. I can't imagine it really matters which. I don't know which one makes more sense. I guess if they end up having a double block or something, it's which one I'd rather kill. This is not a horrible place for me to be. Put that in the yard. Like I said, almost like draw a card. So I can play Lurker, and I can play Cleansing, and just put back one of their 2/2s to slow them down. That looks decent. I would really like to Cleansing my own champion if they ever don't have 2 up, but right now they would just Blight in response and exile it, so it's not really an option. I guess we'll see what we get. Oh, I didn't even need to play the land. I forgot that thing was going to cost 3 and not 4. Okay, so we're going to top that. I mean, I don't want to have to Cleansing. Yeah, I'm not going to Cleansing here, because, like, I'll just block with the 3/3, and then if they tap 5 to pump, they're tapped out, and then I can Cleansing my own champion and get it back. So that looks better to me. Also, I can tap the Regery for the Cleansing and get a counter off of it right away. Oh, this looks bad. Looks like they're going to play a second creature and make them both 4/4s, and I'm not going to be able to block. Maybe I should have cleansing the Thought Left Lieutenant. This was maybe a little risky. Greed punishing me here. Should have just done my best to stay alive and try and win with the stone value. Oh, that's bad. We're down to 1. I guess I might as well get rid of their creature and put a -1/-1 on the champion. But yeah, this is not good. So I can do all 3 of the cards in my hand. So I mean, I'm not dead on board. But yeah, it's looking quite bad. I'm not going to have the opportunity to cleansing the champion, because then I would just be dead. And even if I tap the Regery, and all they have to do is play a creature, so like, and then I'm dead to trample. I don't think we're winning this. I should have cleansing the Thought Left Lieutenant last turn. That was too greedy. I mean, don't get me wrong, they did a bunch of stuff, but I didn't expect second Thought Left there, but I got greedy, and I think I'm going to pay for it. All right, well, no real choices here. I can't survive if they have a creature, so I should play as though they don't, which means I have to draw the command to win. So probably I should put back the 3/4, assume that they just have nothing this turn. No, I have to put back the pump thing, or they can just pump their whole team. And then assume they have nothing this turn. I have okay-ish blocks. Oh, sure, I should tap my dude. I forgot about that. Oh, it's when it becomes tapped. Wow. Okay, so that actually helps a little bit. I was thinking this is when it attacks. It's actually when it becomes tapped. So I can still stun something. So I can stun the big one. Put back the pump one. I missed that. That's bad. Maybe I would have done this last turn. I could have put this back on top, and I could have tapped and stunned one of the 2 creatures. Wow. That would have been awesome. No, I couldn't put this on top. They had the mana open for Spiral into Solitude. So I could have either just used this to stop their attack last turn, which I wish I had done. But my plan was if they didn't have a ton and explode with second thought left and all of that, I would have been putting my own champion back when they tapped their mana, which would have been good. Can I put my champion back now, though? Like, I do get the tap stun, and I get the 1/2. So maybe, can I survive if I do that? Maybe if they don't have anything, I can, right? So let's say they have 3 3/3s. What do my blocks look like? I have a 2/1, a 2/1, a 1/2, and a 3/3. It's not horrible. I didn't play a land yet this turn, did I? I don't even remember. Where's the turn log? Oh yeah, 1/2 shuffles champ. Yeah. But I can still draw it, and I can draw the elemental command. I think that's the best I can do. I guess I don't have to put the champion back in. Like you said, it does shuffle it, and I just need to draw the command. So maybe I should put one of their Thought Left Lieutenants back, stun the 3/4, and then play my creatures. Can't tap white. Oops. I completely missed that. I was thinking, like, you attack with it and then it becomes tapped and then you stun something. I completely forgot that I could just tap it and stun something that way. So it's looking really bad, obviously. If they just play one creature and give 1/1 and +1 and trample, I'm definitely not like dead on board. So the game's not completely over. But it is looking, of course, horrible. But I can also use the Wanderbright Trapper with the champion and tap and stun that way. I need to find the command, of course, or I'm not going to ultimately win. Let's put that in the graveyard. Let's draw the red-blue command. No, but that is something that gains me 2 life, so that could be worse. Oops, I overtapped by 1. I forgot about it. It only costs 1 because of the stone. That's fine. I mean, I'm obviously in really bad shape. I don't think I'm like just dead or anything. I can tap a creature with the trapper, and I can use the champion so I can stun something. They really should be spiral into solituding, blight 1ing, and getting rid of my champion. I know I'll get the 1/2 back, but they're letting me stun their creatures. Okay, so now I'm going to stun the 2 big ones, or tap one of them, stun the other. So, I mean, this is actually still kind of winnable. I need to draw the command, of course, and kill all those 2/2s, including the ones that give trample. But I do have the stone going. I'm bidding lands. I'm getting extra merfolk. It's not 0% I can claw out of this. Not saying it's looking good, obviously. That would be ridiculous. But I wouldn't say it's unwinnable either. Can I attack with the Reejery? Let's say they do kill the champion end of turn. I can still tap 1 creature, but I probably need every blocker if I'm going to survive, right? I guess the 4/4 is staying tapped. I keep tapping an extra 1 like a chump. I have nothing else to do with the mana. That's part of why I'm not even thinking about it, but whatever. So is it better to tap it now? Tap with it now? If I tap with it now, the creature is stunned, so then the stun counter gets removed, but it's not any different than tapping on their turn. But if they give something trample, I can tap that one, and I can probably use my 2/2s to gain 2 life, so probably I shouldn't tap with it now, right? So like if they don't have a creature to play and they go to combat, I can tap the 3/4, gain 2, and then like I have like, I'm at 3, I have to block all 3, but I can put the 3/3 on the pump thing potentially and lose 2 creatures. That's not great. Maybe I just let them attack? No. Well, I could like double block. I can block, chump, block, and grow. I'll no longer have the command as a great draw, but I would have fine blocks. Like if I can trade with these 2/2s and 3, this pump one, that's very good for me. And I can always block and then tap and get my 2 life after blockers are declared. So like, what would my blocks look like? I put like the Reejery on the 3/4, and then it's like 2 2/2s on one of these, 3/3 on one of these, Trapper on like one of these. It's not great. Think need to be tapping the no, it's better to just not tap, right? My blocks are better if I don't tap, I think. I mean, it's more trades, which I don't love, but they're good trades, and I can't rely solely on the command. This is a very interesting spot. I think 2 life is probably more valuable than the Regery counter here. So we'll tap with one of those, just get 2. I definitely got to top that. It's not the command, but we're not like in command or die scenario. We're just not looking good. I can put that on the elf dude, which I have like next to no blocks on. It's a little annoying they still have the ability, but they don't have any elves out anyway. They're clearly a Kithkin deck just playing those. Maybe they have a changeling or 2, I don't know. Alright, so now I think we do want to tap. Because now my blocks would be really good. Sure, more creatures, more creatures. Alright, we're starting to turn this game. I'm getting to the point where I might actually attack. Like, I think I can send the 3/3 flyer now. I've got the lifelinker to block with. I think it's time we can start attacking. Obviously, if they play creatures, they can pump things, but I can tap the ones they pump, at least one of them. And I'm up to 8 life because the Rooftop Percher gain 3 and the Preachers gain 2 each time I tap. So we're really kind of digging our way out here. Kind of nice. I think they may have played a little too cautiously. They didn't want to get blown out by the command, so they kept not attacking and leaving their 5 up, because if they attacked, I would have blocked them and they would have had to pump. But, like, they may go on to lose the game because they didn't, like, even make me have the command, basically. They can only pump once, right? They have 9 mana, not 10. Like, if they play a pump spell from their hand in one spot, that's fine, but just want to make sure they're not able to double pump because these blocks are terrible against double pump. So that's going to be a blowout. They're going to +1/+0, and they're going to get 2+1/+1. So they're going to own me in like all these spots. Gosh, can't believe after all of that they drew this, and now I'm like right back in the doghouse. Hopefully I can draw that command. Maybe I could have played around that a little better. I mean, I wasn't expecting Pump the Team. And if I pile on in any one spot, then they would simply pile on in that spot with the +1/+1 counters from Thought-Left Lieutenant. Yeah, I'm not sure there's a lot I could have done. I mean, I could have like maybe took 1 creature so that I just would get owned in one less spot if they gave their team first strike. I'm losing everything and they're losing nothing. Like, I just got totally owned. Now, obviously, I didn't have great options. I have to block or I'd die. If I let even 2 of the creatures through, I would die. So, I mean, I could have, like, maybe just not done one of the 2 double blocks and made the other blocks the same. And this way I would just have more creatures left after this. I mean, of course, they just drew that card, and I had no reason to put that in their hand. And it was going to be good no matter what, because they could have blinked this and freed it up. But maybe I could have mitigated a little bit better. And I can't get the command or anything. Gross. think I'm pretty dead. I go to 7, I block 1, I take lethal, so I can't even tap. Man, I turned the game so hard and then they drew that card. That sucks. Thought I was actually going to come back and win this after all that. So I guess if I double block, I'm dead. I have to block 3 creatures, so I guess like something like this is the best I can do. Yeah, I mean, this game was, if they didn't draw that Personify card, it was looking really good. And if I drew Command, I definitely would have won. Too little, too late, probably. Well, neither player has a board and I'm at 1 and I've got a stone out. If they brick here, if I could go on to win this, this could be the greatest win of all time. Like, it could literally be number 1. Alright, we can't put that in the yard. Oh, this only costs 1, but whatever. Graveyard, hand. I'm probably just going to end up decking. I have 6 cards left. I mean, I don't really have choices. Oops, this costs way less mana, but whatever. No! Another annoying card that could easily beat me. I guess we can see what I have left here. Yeah, I don't think I can win. Like, not because of, I mean, I don't, that Kithkin enchantment draw would probably end up sneaking in lethal, but I actually don't think I can win just because I have 1 3/3 flyer left in my deck. Like, I think they're just going to deck me. Right? Like, this game is not winnable, like, through this Kipkin card. If they didn't draw that, I could deal them 4 here, a couple of turns, draw the 3/3 flyer. I could potentially win in 3 turns. It's not like I have to take extra cards off the stone. But at this point, I think I'm just decked. Crazy that I was able to restabilize with the command. Imagine if I had drawn that like 1 turn earlier. And then if they had bricked on this festival, I still could have won. What a game. Well, even though we lost it, still one of the greatest games of all time, right? Remember, I don't have to hack through my deck. I'm just doing this because like the game is over. But yeah, that was incredible. Even all of that down the stretch, like I would have won. Like, let's say, I'm not saying your opponents just don't draw anything or whatever. Like, people draw stuff. I drew stuff. But let's just say they don't draw the Claim Festival that turn. I hit them for 5 down to 10. I still have like 3-4 cards left in my deck. If I can definitely win that game. And then I can make the 1/3 unblockable, just hitting for 3 instead of 4 then. or hitting for 4 using the 1/2, and then I still had the 3/3 flyer left. That was the only spell left in my deck. So I could have gotten in lethal before decking. Not at 3 with them making all those 1/1 Kithkin off of that enchantment. But that was actually probably like close to a 50-50 game for me when they drew the festival. Crazy. Alright, so we're 1-1, so I'm going to play out this last match to see if we can go 2-1 and get our 3 packs. No trophy for us in the second deck here, but nothing wrong with 4-2 or 5-1. Like I said, these draft leagues are pretty tough. As you can see, all of my opponent's decks are relatively good, and they play Magic reasonably well. I think these are great places to get practice, the MTGO draft leagues. Unfortunately, it's MTGO and not Arena, so it's unpleasant on the eyes, but the level of play is quite good. I think that's a pretty straightforward trade. Their creature pings if it sits around. Mine stays a 2/1 if it sits around. So I'm going to put it in combat there and make the trade. I'm super flooded, but hopefully the stone will give us ammo. I mean, we're at 20 on turn 4, so that's all you can really ask for with a Gathering Stone. Now, it's a little ridiculous to have 5 lands in hand, 1 in the yard, and 4 more in play, but that means there's only 7 left in the whole deck, and there's a lot of merfolk in there. So hopefully we'll start drawing a lot of ammo now. Okay, we'll take that. Let's not put that in the graveyard. So 2 to their creatures and draw 2, or 2 to their creatures and copy a 2/3 lifelink. I think I want the 2/3 lifelink again. I do have to potentially race this 3/5 flyer. You can draw an on-tribe tribal command off stone. I could not draw a command off stone because I'm a merfolk deck splashing for the red-blue command. Yep, we're going to go ahead and draw that. That's a great draw. I can behold this lockdown one. Tap the flyer. Seems good. Get 2 life and 1 damage in. Despite being super flooded, I think this game is looking pretty good. They're out of cards. We've got the stone going. And we have 5 lands left in our whole deck. So of course they draw a 6-drop that draws a card, but hey. Still not looking bad. Well, that hurts because I now can't attack with the champion profitably, so I need to find a removal spell. And I have like 3 or 4, so hopefully I can draw something. Evolving Wilds to the graveyard, another stone. Not great. Now they can hit me with their flyer. So I guess it's right to still attack, let them have their flyer untapped. Because, I mean, I can tap the 6/5, which means I can also gain 2 life. So I would rather be tapping their flyer here because I would rather just be playing for a stalemate. But I get 2 life, I get to attack them, And then now that that creature is stunned, next turn if they don't draw anything, I can attack and tap the flyer and let them untap the 6/5, and then I can just hold back like a 1/2 chump blocker or something for the 6/5. This is another really good game. I mean, it wouldn't be if I wasn't so flooded, but could be in worse shape. Hopefully we can find a removal spell. I've got like 4 or something. That's good enough. We can take that. So now, let's say I put the 3/4 double striker back. Then I can attack, leave up the 1/2 to block the flyer, and I'll gain 4 and be at 10. I mean, to block the 6/5. Right? Tap the flyer, put the 3/4 double strike on top, and then attack with everything but the 1/2, and I have the 1/2 back to chump block the 6/5. That looks pretty good, right? So I want the 3/4 back so that they can't block and trade with the champion. And then I'm not going to send the 1/2. I'm going to get my 4 life out of the Wonderbrine and the Prideful. And I'm going to tap down the flyer so that they can't get in a hard hit here. Happily chump block with the 1/2, right? No problems there. The 1/2 can jump in front of the 6/5. I guess they could pump the barn and attack with both, but then they would have no blocker up even. So they've turned it into a 10-9. Changeling will take 1 for the team. So if we find a removal here, they're just dead. If not, we're still in pretty good shape, I think. And that's a removal spell. I think we can tap 1, Blossom Bind the other, and kill them, right? They're at 7 and I have 8 out. So let's not put the game-winning card in the graveyard. Oh, this doesn't matter. Hey, drew all lands. 1 anyway. So, they're vivid. Killing things is good. We shouldn't need little chump blockers. Counters can be okay against their deck, but every non-merfolk is like kind of punishing for us to have. And most of our non-merfolk are just basically like removal. So I don't think I want to bring counters on the draw against them. Think the plan, well, they actually are kind of aggressive. Remember they had the 2-mana 3/2 Goblin and the 2-mana 2/2 Squelcher and so on. But that only, right? Not every game can be like that, Anidus. Yeah, I don't know. So Squelcher also makes counters bad. I don't think I want any of these cards, really. I mean, it's not like I'm that easy to run over. Like, I have all these things that gain 2 life, and my curve is actually, like, fine. I mean, I have enough 2s and 3s. Not plenty, but enough. My draws have been pretty bad for a 17-land deck with, like, pretty good mana. So I mulliganed. This hand's, of course, a keep. Probably I just put back Liminal Hold. In case I get stuck on 2, I keep the 2 2s, and then I keep the stone as my way to win. This actually doesn't even seem that close in terms of what to put back. What you put back after a mulligan is often like the hardest decision. But in this case, I only have 2 lands. They are not going back. I have 2 2-mana removal spells. They're not going back. My 1-drop isn't going back. So basically, it was just like stone or hold, and like I need the card drawing, not the 3rd removal spell. Yeah, the cards have gotten, they do a lot more than they used to back in the day. Alright, so I definitely would like to kill the 3/2 and attack and grow my Regery. I don't love just having this sit around because it means I take 2 whenever they play a 4-mana card. But I don't really have any other choices anyway, because like I'm not going to just not pass the turn and not spend 2 mana while I'm stuck on 2 with 2 different 2-mana removal spells. So I think the only choice is which 2-mana removal spell do I want to use on the 3/2. Probably the Solitude, because later I can blight and remove it, so I don't get pinged out if we go into a stalemate. Like, of course, kept a 2-lander on the draw, didn't play land 3 turn 3, but what else is new? My draws were much smoother with the Goblin deck, and I only played 16 lands. I think this is just kind of bad draws over this draft. I think this deck was actually pretty sweet. I'm not going to kill the 1/3 with Blossom Bind, so now I am not going to spend my mana. I need to be able to answer like a real threat and get to the stone. Unfortunately, that's one that, like, if I Blossom Bind it, it's not really helping me. It's just going to sit and play drawing them cards, so that's not an option. But we did draw lands for the stone, so we can get that going now. I mean, I do kind of want that, but remember, the Rooftop Percher only costs 4, so if I get rid of it, if there's a land on top, I can take that land anyway. And if there's a merfolk on top, I get the merfolk, and then I still get a draw step to get a land. So I think I'm going to be greedy. This is kind of weird. I'll explain more on their turn, but I'm going to get rid of this land. Now, if the top card is a land, because I have command in hand, let's say I see a land during my upkeep, I'm going to top that. So why get rid of the land and then top the next land? Because I'm not that unhappy to draw land, but I don't like need one right now. It's not like they have a 2/2 army out and I must command soon. So I felt like I'll take the shot at getting a free merfolk and then drawing a land anyway. As it turns out, they killed my stone. And if that all didn't work out and I was stuck on 4, remember the Rooftop Percher only costs 4, so I have a fine play for my turn. All right, so all of that didn't work out. That said, I did draw a land. I'm just casting Rooftop, I guess, and passing the turn. They killed my stone. Little do they know we've got more where that came from, but not in hand. Okay, so I'm going to pass the turn here. So what I'm going to do now is chump block the 2/4 with my 2/1, because I don't want that thing sitting in play and drawing them extra cards in the late game. And then end of their turn, I'm going to probably play the Ashling's Command. I can't play it before damage because then I won't kill the 2/4. So assuming they attack with the 2/4, which maybe they will, maybe they won't, but assuming they do, the plan is block it with the 2/1 and then cast the command. If they don't attack with the 2/4, I'll just draw 2 cards and copy the Rooftop Percher and make another 3/3 flyer, gain 3, and draw 2. Maybe I should do that anyway, to be honest, but it's close, right? So the question is, would I rather deal 2 to all their creatures, or would I rather have a 3/3 flyer? Obviously, I think draw 2 is probably better than either of those at this point, because I need to find another stone, and I'm not under that much pressure. So if I make the 3/3, I could like 2/1 on 2/4, 3/3 on 2/4. Nah, I don't need a 3/3 flyer, right? The original plan is correct. I want to get this 2/4 off the board so they don't draw extra cards every time they cast a Forecaster for the rest of the game. So now we go 2 to all their creatures, draw 2 cards. I mean, this isn't like as it was or would have been against the Kithkin deck or anything, but I have the Blossom Bind for the 4/3. Basically, it stabilizes, gets rid of their ability to draw cards, gives me 2 more cards towards finding the other Gathering Stone or the draw 3. So it's pretty solid, right? I don't even know if I need a Blossom Bind this. I can just block it with Shoreline Lurker. I guess I can see what I get, and then I can decide whether to play the Scoundrel or the Blossom Bind. They did have some bigger things, so I'm more inclined to try and just block it with my 3/3 flyer, save Blossom Bind for like their 6/5 or something like that, potentially. Well, that's annoying. I wish I had played Blossom Bind now while they couldn't counter it, I guess. Although I guess on the flip side, well, I could Blossom Bind this, but ultimately they could just remove the counters and draw a card. So my 3/3 is stopping their 2/3, so it's not crystal clear whether I block, but I think it's still correct. That's only going to be hitting for 3 damage a turn after I draw a card when they counter this, as opposed to taking 4 a turn, which is more than that. So I think the right play here, I'm just throwing the 1/3 on to absorb an extra point of trample. Maybe I'm going to get owned for this. I didn't think they were going to have removal. Granted, like, I don't really hate the 1/3 there saving me 3 points of life. I don't love it. Like, if I knew they had Feed the Flame, I wouldn't make that block. But it's, like, very low risk. Like, they're almost certainly going to counter this Blossom Bind, so it doesn't matter a lot which I put it on. I guess the flyer is scarier. No, I wasn't saying anything about them countering their own spells. So this is probably going to be too slow. But all we can really do, thin it out. I mean, they have 8 on board, 8's not 9. See if we can find some stuff. We definitely can't take that. We do have card drawing and life gain and stuff, so, I mean, assuming the card in their hand is a land, we're probably going to lose, but we're not dead at 1. There is definitely the potential to draw 2 cards, you know, a merfolk that gains life, removal, the champion, stuff like that. Well, now we're dead, of course. The barn's going to pump something and we're just dead. So now we're going to game 3. Don't think I saw anything that makes me really want to change anything. They have the 4-mana deal 5. They have some pretty good late game power. I'm really trying to beat them with stones. They have, you know, their deck's not that fast. Like, we both have removal. I don't really think that there's much to switch. Deceit isn't, like, great against them. Like, bouncing things isn't, like, exceptional or something. Another 1-lander, huh? Alright, well, so we're going to put back either Unexpected Assistance or Second Stone. That does seem close. Knowing they have removal for first stone, maybe I want to keep the second stone. I don't have double blue, but if I draw either an island or a blue creature, all my blue creatures cost 1, I can cast Unexpected Assistance. So, like, assuming that they couldn't remove stone, I would rather put back stone. And there is a chance I get stuck on 3, let's say, but I have, like, you know, a blue 2-drop or 3-drop and the Vaulter, and then I can cast Assistance. That said, I have a 3-lander on the play. We saw an answer for stone. I would rather just play a second stone than play the Unexpected Assistance. So, I mean, we're definitely putting back Unexpected Assistance or Gathering Stone, number 2. I think it's pretty close. If I thought they, like, couldn't remove stone, I think I would put back second stone in case I get stuck on 3 lands, but with a blue creature. Given they have the 1/2 that destroys an artifact or enchantment, I think I'm going to put back Assistance. Definitely, it would be wrong to put back anything here besides either second stone or Assistance. I think which one is pretty close. Looks like they took a mulligan also. Hopefully we'll just draw land 4. That's the big thing. We have 13 lands, 12 come into play untapped, and 1 Evolving Wilds. Just like to see an untapped land, or the 1/2 Wayfinder also would be a good draw. here this turn, not next turn. So of course it's Evolving Wilds. I guess we Evolving Wilds now. Like, it sucks we didn't draw this one turn sooner, but the Vaulter's just saving us like 1 point of damage, and I can play it for 2 mana or 1 mana after the stones. So it's more important to me to get out turn 4 stone than it is to get Vaulter and play this turn. Unfortunately, now that Flamebreaker is going to let them power out potentially 6 mana cards and stuff, but I can't do anything about that. I'm going to go get my mountain, but I don't even have the option to kill it until another turn goes by. So, Gathering Stone for Merfolk it is. Not a Merfolk. Is that a card we want to draw? Not really. They might put out something big, but I drew Solitude. I think we just get rid of that. Well, that's a problem creature. Well, that's an answer. No real choices here. Not like a productive turn, but gotta kill the broken rare and then see what happens next. Sana just draws like just like an extra card every turn, basically. Like, that card is ridiculous. Like, you need to kill that thing on site in limited. That's a way less scary drop. Okay, I'm actually going to draw that. Land 5 is pretty useful right now. Now I can play another stone, and I can play the Tributary Vaulter for 1. Now we'll get rid of lands. We don't need that. So we'll see what they got, but they can't really be holding big elementals unless they cost 7, because they had 6 last turn, counting the Braider. I don't know what they have in there. They could have the 6/5, but like I said, they would have played it last turn. So block the 2/2. Their creatures are pretty good against Command. I wonder if I should have just took it out. Maybe Command's not even worth splashing for in this matchup. We like free Merfolk. We do not need more lands. Let's throw away Island. This is really cool. So I get to pay 1 mana for this Wayfinder, go get a land and play it. That's pretty sweet. We still have to figure out what we're going to do. We can cast Shore Lurker and Solitude. Or I could cast Solitude and use Solitude so that they don't draw cards whenever they play 4 or more casting cost. I kind of want to do that. I don't really want them drawing cards. I mean, I don't think they're holding too many cards that cost 4 or more in their hand. I think they would already be in play. But, of course, their deck probably has plenty. That's kind of what Elementals does in this format. So the lines I'm considering for this turn are I can, like, play the Lurker for 2 mana and play the Solitude and just pass, and then I can use the Solitude on a future turn, and then I have a little bit better blocks. Or I can just play the Spiral and a Solitude on the 2/4 and exile it and blight onto my 1/2. And that's fine. I have the 1/3 to block the 2/2. I can chump block with the Wayfinder, and then I deny them drawing cards. I think that's probably better. Just, like, exile the thing that draws cards, right? Only I get to draw cards, not my opponents. I have double stone. I can't let them have a 2/4 out that draws cards. So they're Feed the Flamesing. That makes sense. I'll go ahead and chump block with my 0/1, not take 4 damage. I should have stuff to do here. I've got the 3/3 for 2 mana, and then I get to look at 3 more cards. Now, I might see a removal and not get free Merfolk, but I get to surveil all these lands to the graveyard. Merfolk to the hand. You see how like that was practically like draw 2 extra cards off those? Because I binned a planes, then I got that would have done nothing for me. Then I got a free merfolk, then I got my draw step for the turn, which was another merfolk. So now I can just dump all this stuff in play. Life is good. Surveil away the lands, put into my graveyard. We don't need lands. Just kind of doing it with double stone in the merfolk deck. Hey, what's up, Archivist? I'm enjoying the gameplay, and I'm not super enjoying the draft portion. The draft portion is like, the first couple picks are like, figure out which tribe you can draft in your seat, and then after that, you just take the best card for your tribe out of every pack, and most of the picks are not that interesting. But Convoke and Blight are interesting for gameplay, and all the creatures with abilities and all of that. So I would say I'm enjoying the gameplay, but I'm not super enjoying the draft portion. That's a scary card. So I can't take the hit, so I guess I'm just going to double block. But then, they have another Feed the Flames here? Jeez. Which, whatever. I mean, I couldn't take the hit from that, so if I'm going to block it with 1, I'm going to block it with 2. But now that 7/3 is scary, but they're out of cards, so maybe they won't draw any elementals. That one with that ability is really scary. Like, I could Blossom Bind it here, and then they won't even get their creature back, but any elemental they draw will go to my face. I mean, maybe that's not the worst. I don't know. This is kind of an interesting spot. Feel like I should probably bin that. I still have 1 more stone. And then, like, might draw for my turn. Alright, so we got a free merfolk, and then we'll see what we draw. Another merfolk. So I can play one of these and the command, or I can play both. Probably I want to command a copy of the Feastling. Nah, maybe not. Maybe I just want to draw 2. They're probably going to see the command coming if I pass the turn with 5 up, because they saw the command last game. Not that that means that it's a big deal. They have no cards in hand. They're probably just not going to like attack with both creatures and let me put my 2/3 on their 2/4, my 2/2 on their 7/3, and then blow up their board or something like that. So like end of turn, then I'll be like drawing 2 and copying the Feastling, which seems fine to be honest. Like I said, the command is not that great against their deck, so I think this is probably correct. So I'm hoping they'll attack with the 7/3 so I can block it and then kill it with command. I don't necessarily expect them to do that by any means. And then if they don't do that, end of their turn, I'm just going to copy my Feastling and draw 2 cards, which is fine, right? It's not like the blowout that the command was against Kithkin, but there's nothing wrong with that. But this is what I actually wanted. Now I can deal 2 end of their turn and copy my Feastling and kill their 2 creatures, including the scary champion. So I'd rather copy the 2/3 lifelink, I think, than draw 2. I'm basically drawing whatever I want. So we want to go copy that, 2 to all of their creatures. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't telegraph the card at any point during the game, but also, like, they saw it last game and I just left 5 up with 3 cards in hand. So I think they probably shouldn't have made that attack, but it's not like it was, like, unbelievable or something. I do need to kill them without decking again. But, like, I can stop using the stones whenever I want. So probably after this, I will not throw away any more spells. Like, I'm probably going to uncover Unexpected Assistance here, which will take me to 8 cards in deck, and it'll let me get a counter off the Reejerey, because I'll, Convoke. And then after that, I'm probably going to, maybe I'll take a free merfolk, but any spell, I probably just can't, throw away too many more cards, right? I do have to not deck myself with all these stone digging and value. Which was another reason not to draw 2 off of that, rather to copy the 2/3 lifelink. My deck's not especially good at closing. You can usually just win with value, and I have good hard removal. I have like 2 of the Solitude and Blossom Bind and Liminal Hold. So like, in theory, I should be able to kill people and not deck most of the time. But it is just something that needs to be on my mind while I'm playing. So take that. 7 cards left in my deck. Yeah, I can take that too. So now I have 5 cards left in my deck. So now let's just dump all our stuff out. So I'm beholding. I want to Solitude away Ashling, behold the other 1/3, I think. And then I can attack with everything. I don't really need to Solitude away Ashling. Maybe I'll just not do that. I do want to have the removal in case they draw a big thing. Like, yes, I want to dump my stuff out and win now, but that may just not be accomplishing much. Maybe I can Champions tap the 2/2, then the 4/3 hits them and I gain 4, and I just dump all my stuff out and hold on to Solitude for 1 turn. That seems kind of legit. Calvadel. I can stop whenever I want, if I want to stop. It's hard to stop taking extra value. But unless they play a sweeper or something really unexpected, like unless they like Soul Immolation or something, I think I can close in time pretty easily. If they blow up my world here, I might lose the game. But they had no cards in hand like a turn ago. There's like no reason to think they have that. But I'll leave that on top for now. I can get rid of it with stone if I want to later anyway. So I'll see what happens. But assuming they don't like play a sweeper, which is basically just Soul Immolation, a mythic, and they were empty-handed last turn, I can like attack and tap something and Spiral into Solitude something. So I don't really think it's going to be too hard for me to kill them. Like I said, I have 5 cards in my library, but it's not like I'm milling 3 cards a turn. I can take 5 turns if I want to. Probably I'll end up removing that Plains here even and going 1 more card deeper. But we'll see what they do. Just in case they have some kind of a mill 3 or something, I didn't want to keep plowing through my deck. Like if I discarded that Plains and then they played like a mill 4 and I lost, as opposed to being able to draw the Plains and then just attack them for lethal, that would be pretty embarrassing. So for now, tap the non-Ashling 1/3 because I'd rather them have to block with Ashling if they're going to block. So if I Solitude Ashling, is it lethal? 3, 5, 7, 13, 15. Yeah, so they're way dead. I mean, I guess they could have something else too like that. So now it's 2, 4, 7, 9, 11. So now they're not dead this turn. They get like 1 more card, 1 more draw step. So I'm not going to let them rummage. There's no reason to do that. So I'm going to exile this so that they only get 1 card and not 2. Well, I'll blight post-combat. No reason to miss a damage. But then we attack with everything. And like I said, if they don't draw like Soul Immolation exactly, maybe Sunderflock, I mean, it wouldn't even bounce these 2/3s, but it might keep them alive for a turn. And then I can like replay everything. But I'm not gonna, the reason I'm killing this is because if I didn't do this, they could pay the 1 and flip it, and then discard the card they draw to draw another card. And I think the only way they can win this game is Soul Immolation, so I'd rather give them 1 card than 2.